Hello goats. In this video I will be talking about every state's official dish and what it is, and then I'll be telling you a random fact about each state just to keep things interesting. This hopefully shouldn't be a long video, so with all that being said, and hoping I'm not forgetting anything important, let us begin. Starting off in alphabetical order, we have Alabama, and their official state food is lane cake, a bourbon layered cake with a unique filling with pecans, coconut, and raisins. This is what it looks like. And a random fact is that they're the first state to recognize Christmas as a legal holiday. Alaska. They do not have a single official state food, but they do eat a lot of different seafoods like Chinook salmon, Alaskan king crab, and halibut. This is what these things look like. Most people probably know what these are. And a random fact is Chris McCandless ends up dying here in the book Into the Wild based off true events. Great book, by the way. Arizona. There is not a single official state food, but chimichangas and Sonoran hot dogs are beloved here. This is what they look like. And a random fact about Arizona is a state with one of the most national parks in it. California has the most national parks though. Arkansas. Again, there isn't a state dish, but this rice dish, possum pie, and fried pickles are beloved by the people. Those look like this. And a random fact is it's home to the only public diamond mine where random people can just come in and try to find diamonds. California. Again, it has no official state dish, but they love nuts. Random fact is that if California became its own country, it would be top 20, maybe even top 10 richest countries in the world. I realize this is the 4th state in a row without a state dish, but don't worry, other states do have state dishes. This is just unlucky.
I want you to take a guess to see how many states don't have an official state dish, and let's see if you get it right at the end of the video.
Colorado. Colorado doesn't have a state dish, but most people would agree on lamb, peaches, Rocky Mountain oysters being the state dish. They look like these. And a random fact is Colorado is in the top 5 most beautiful states. These non-state dishes are pissing me off. Connecticut, finally a state with a state dish. And better yet, they have 2 official state dishes, pizza and snickerdoodles. They look like this. Not bad, not bad. And a random fact is Connecticut is the home place for the hamburger, which is weird how that isn't the official state dish, but whatever. They have a nice choice of food. Delaware. Delaware's official state dish is peach pie. It looks like this. Pretty tasty. And a random fact is Delaware has the least counties of any state, only having 3. Not really much to say here, but I've never tried peach pie, but it sounds delicious. Florida. Florida's official state dish is key lime pie. This is what it looks like. And a random fact is Florida is the flattest state in the US. Georgia. Georgia the state, not the country. Official state dish is grits. This is what it looks like. And the random fact is Georgia is the birthplace of wine. Hawaii. Hawaii's national / state dish is a salmon, not spam. I'm honestly surprised it wasn't spam, but you learn something new every day, huh? This is what it looks like. Looks like a Japanese, Chinese, and Filipino inspired dish. And for the random fact, you can mail a coconut anywhere in the world from Hawaii. Idaho. Idaho's state dish is huckleberry pie. But potatoes do play a larger role in Idaho's history, and the potato production for the US producing around 1/3 of the potatoes in the US. This is what the pie looks like. Pretty nice. And a random fact is Idaho has the most roadless wilderness of any state besides Alaska. Illinois. Illinois has not 1, not 2, not 4, but 3 state dishes: popcorn, pumpkin pie, and sweet corn. This is what they look like. Pretty nice. And a random fact is it's the 5th most populous state. California, of course, being first. Indiana. Indiana's state dish is the sugar cream pie. This is what it looks like. Looks pretty tasty, I'm not even gonna lie. And a random fact is this is where Michael Jackson was born and the first train robbery. Pretty neat. Iowa. Iowa does not have an official state dish, but most people will recognize it as the Iowa chop. This is what it looks like. And just looking at this is probably the best looking dish so far in my opinion. And the random fact is Iowa is the highest producers of pork and corn. Thank you, Iowa. Kansas. Kansas does not have an official state dish, but Kansas City style barbecue is strongly associated with the state. This is what they look like. Absolutely amazing. And the random fact is the first patented helicopter in the world was designed and built in Goodland, Kansas. R.I.P. Kobe, my goat. Kentucky. Kentucky's official state dish is hot brown casserole. This is what it looks like. And I don't know, to me that just doesn't look that appealing, but that's just a me issue. And the random fact is that Kentucky is the horse racing capital of the world. By the way, horses can sell for like 20, 50, or even 200,000, even more sometimes. So I don't know why you wouldn't just buy a car at that point, not some dumb horse. Louisiana. Louisiana's official state dish is gumbo. This is what it looks like. That looks pretty delicious. And a random fact is Louisiana is the second wettest state, Hawaii being number 1. And before we move on, I wanted to add that Louisiana looks like the state with the best food. Popeye's Louisiana chicken, gumbo, seafood broil, etc. All of that looks absolutely delicious, but honestly, I feel like once we reach Texas, they would have like the best food. Maine. Maine's official state dish is the whoopie pie. This is what it looks like. Looks alright. And random fact is that they harvest 100 million pounds of lobster annually. And I thought the state dish would have been lobster, but that's pretty interesting. Maryland. Maryland's official state dish is the blue crab. This is what it looks like. And a random fact is that it's the first state to designate jousting as an official sport. Boring ass sport. Just kidding. I love jousting and Wii Sports. That was pretty fun. Massachusetts. Massachusetts state dish is the Boston cream pie. Not surprising to me in the slightest. This is what it looks like. Looks pretty good. And random fact is Massachusetts is the 6th smallest state by land area. Michigan. Michigan doesn't have an official state dish, but most people would agree it to be the Coney dog, which is like a hot dog. Some of you may know how I feel about hot dogs already. This is what it looks like. And a random fact is that it is illegal to tie an alligator to a fire hydrant in Detroit. Minnesota. Minnesota doesn't have an official state dish, but people regard it as the tater tot hot dish. This is what it looks like. Just tater tots. And the random fact is the state has 90,000 miles of shoreline, more than California, Florida, and Hawaii combined. Mississippi. Mississippi doesn't have an official state dish, but the Mississippi mud pie is popular there. This is what it looks like. Looks low-key kind of good. And a random fact is Coca-Cola was first bottled in Vicksburg, Mississippi in 1894. Very cool.
And sorry about the picture. I couldn't get rid of the watermarks, so there's gonna be 6 more pictures like this, but it doesn't really change that much. Sorry about that.
Missouri. Missouri's official state food includes gooey butter cake and St. Louis style pizza. They look like this, pretty tasty. And a random fact is that Missouri means wooden canoe people. It's pretty neat. And if you made it this far, please like and subscribe. I very much appreciate it. Thank you. Montana. Montana doesn't have an official state dish, but they eat a bunch of random stuff. The closest thing I can find that most people would say is a state food is huckleberry. It looks like this, nothing special. And a random fact is Montana has more cows per people, around 2.5 cows per person. Nebraska. Nebraska's unofficial state dish is the runza sandwich. I don't know how to pronounce that. It looks like this. And a random fact is Nebraska is the birthplace of Kool-Aid. Capri Sun is better than Kool-Aid in my opinion, but that's pretty cool nevertheless. Nevada. Nevada has no official state dish, but almost everyone agrees on the shrimp cocktail. It looks like this. And a random fact is Nevada is the largest goat producing state in the US and 4th in the world. New Hampshire. New Hampshire's state dish is a boiled dinner. This includes a traditional meal consisting of corn, beef, or ham, root vegetables, and cabbage. It looks like this. And a random fact is that it was the first colony to declare independence and adopted its own constitution. New Jersey. New Jersey's state sandwich is the Taylor ham, egg, and cheese sandwich. It looks like this. And random fact is that they're home to the first drive-in movie theater. New Mexico. New Mexico's state dish / veggie is chili peppers and beans, frijoles. It looks like this. And a random fact is that the best show Breaking Bad was made in New Mexico. New York. New York's official state dish is yogurt and apples. This is what they look like. Very interesting. And a random fact is homeowners can request free trees. North Carolina. North Carolina doesn't have any official state dish, but sweet potatoes are very valued there. This is what they look like, just potatoes. And a random fact is many people believe that North Carolina was the first state to declare independence from England with the Mecklenburg Declaration of 1775. North Dakota. North Dakota doesn't have an official state dish, but few popular dishes and food traditions that are often associated with the state. The most well-known being lefse and kachan. This is what it looks like. And a random fact is the state holds the Guinness World Record for the most simultaneous snow angels made in one place. Ohio. Ohio doesn't have a state dish, but I guess the state fruit is tomatoes. I'm not even gonna show a picture, everyone knows what tomato is. And random fact is the craziest things happen in Ohio. Oklahoma. Oklahoma is our craziest state dish yet. Oklahoma's state meal is a large selection of regional dishes that celebrates the state's agricultural history and culture. It looks something like this. A large arrangement of meats, vegetable, breads, and desserts. And a random fact is Oklahoma is the first state to have sold Girl Scout cookies. Oregon. Oregon doesn't have a single official state dish. I am getting sick and tired of these states not having an official state dish. But the state has designated the Marionberry pie as its state pie. This is what it looks like. Looks pretty tasty. And a random fact is Oregon is home to the deepest lake in the US, Crater Lake. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania doesn't have an official designated state dish, but choufle pie is a popular and widely recognized dish. This is what it looks like, kind of mid. And a random fact is it's home to the first ever baseball stadium, Rhode Island. Rhode Island's state appetizer is Rhode Island style calamari. It looks like this. And a random fact is, of course, it's the smallest state in the US, but that's just a boring fact. An actual cool fact is Rhode Island was the first of the original 13 colonies to abolish slavery in 1652. South Carolina. South Carolina has 2 official state foods: barbecue as the official state picnic cuisine, and boiled peanuts. It looks like this, pretty average. And a random fact is it's home to the Mr. Beast. South Dakota. South Dakota doesn't have a single designated state dish, but people would say it's chislic. This is what it looks like. It looks really good. It's just fried steak, I think. And a random fact is that this is where Mount Rushmore is located, and a location in Invincible. Tennessee's official state dish is hot slaw. This is what it looks like. Just some normal coleslaw. And a random fact is it's the birthplace of many famous musicians, including Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, and Dolly Parton, Texas. Texas state dish is chile con carne. This is what it looks like. Honestly, looks pretty good. And I'm honestly surprised it wasn't a Texas barbecue that wasn't the state dish, but this looks pretty fire, I'm not even gonna lie. And a random fact is that Texas is only the second largest state. Utah. Utah's official state dish / snack is Jello. This is what it looks like, nothing special. And a random fact is the seagull is the state bird, Vermont. Vermont's official state dish is apple pie. This is what it looks like, just a normal apple pie. And a random fact is that Vermont was once an independent country, Vermont Republic, from 1777 to 1791. Virginia. Virginia's state dish is cured country ham, specifically known as Smithfield ham. This is what it looks like. And a random fact is Virginia has the world's only oyster museum, at least from 2016. I don't know if there's more oyster museums now. Washington. Washington doesn't have an official state dish, but people recognize it as the Dungeness crab. This is what it looks like. Crab legs are kind of fire. And a random fact is Washington produces more apples than any other state in the country. West Virginia. West Virginia's state dish is the pepperoni roll. Looks like this. Pretty good. And a random fact is, as of time of writing the script, it is 12:13 midnight. I am very tired. Wisconsin. Wisconsin's state dish is the kringle, a Danish pastry. This is what it looks like. Pretty tasty. And a random fact is Wisconsin is the country's top cheese producing state. And finally, our last state, Wyoming, does not have a state dish. What a way to end it off. But buffalo jerky is considered to be the state dish. This is what it looks like, pretty average. And a random fact is that it was the first state to grant women the right to vote. And that is all for today, fellas. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I couldn't really talk about the foods in much detail because this would have made the video like 3 hours long. But I don't know. Tell me if I did good. And tell me which fact you enjoyed the most. I actually learned a lot of new things about the US, so I don't know. I think it was pretty cool. Alright, bye.